Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to the block series in PictoBlox. Today we are going to start with a new category of the blocks which is variables. So before that we have covered all the other categories as well like motion, looks, motion to operators. We have covered everything. So if you have any questions regarding any blocks in these particular categories, please refer my previous videos in the same playlist. So yeah, if you are ready for the variable category, let's start the project. Let's start the tutorial about it. So first of all, let me give you a small context about variables. See, variables are the small storage units within the memory where you get to store a value that can be varied throughout the code. So that's why it's called a variable because you can vary the data within it. So it's just like a storage unit that can store one single piece of data. It can be a number, an alphabet, or a character, or a special symbol, or even a name. Like if it is a single word, then yeah, you can store it in a variable. Okay. Now let us understand how the blocks in variables work. And we have three different kinds of variables here. One is, as I said, the single storage unit. Then we have the list and a table. So yeah, we'll talk about list in a bit. First, let us complete the variable part. So here my variable is the default variable which is already there. Right now, let's delete it. Let's make a variable. I'll just name it as var. So there are two important components of a variable. One is the name of the variable because only with the name you can access the information within it. So the data stored within it you can access with the name itself. So the name of the data, name of the variable, it can be a list or table, anything is fine. But name of the variable and also the data stored within it, these two are the very important components of a variable. It can be a single variable, a list or a table. Okay, so these two are very important. Now let us name our first variable. I'll just name it as first variable. Now here we have two types, number and string. So number actually stores the numbers like the digits and different numbers. String is actually for the characters. You can store numbers, any kind of data. It can be anything like a word or a normal space or any special characters, alphabet, so anything. Okay, so all kind of data comes under the string, and number, it can store numbers within it. And for all sprites and for this sprite only, so these are the local and global variables. If it is for all sprites, we call it as a global variable, which means all the sprites, all the backdrops within the program can access the data, can access this variable. But if you select for this sprite only, then it will be a local variable, which means only this sprite can access the data. This sprite can access the variable, nothing else. Okay, so first of all, let's try with number and for all sprites. So here, if you check it, you can see the variable displayed on the stage itself, or else you can uncheck it to hide it. So this is a manual process. We have show variable and hide variable blocks. So if you want to hide or show the variables in the program, you can use these two blocks. Now let's understand the first and second blocks, set and change. So set block will set the variable to a specific value. It can be 10 and just activate it. The variable becomes 10. So whatever the value is, can be any negative or decimal values, just set it and the value will become the same thing. But if you put change, then the value what is already there within the first variable, I mean the variable that you are changing, that will be changed by the value that you are mentioning over here. For example, negative 10. And let's set it to 0. So variable becomes 0. So if you change it by negative 10, every time it gets activated, it will change the value by negative 10. So if you put it 10, it will change the same value by 10. So as you can see, the moment I activate it, first variable is actually becoming changing by 10. Okay, so that's how these blocks work. Now let's go for string type. Okay, I'll just put it string one. So the name you can put anything, just for all sprites. Okay, now again set string one. So here I'll set it to, as you can see, it is completely blank because it's a string type. Let's make it PictoBlox, and if I set it, it became PictoBlox. Now for this, like, you might be wondering what effect might be with the change variable, sorry, change block. So if we just make it change by 10, okay, so it considers the value as 0 and then it changes the value. So that's how change will work with the string blocks. Generally we don't do change, like we don't use change block with the string type variables, because if you're changing it, then it will be, doesn't matter which kind of variable it is. And also once you set it to number type, you can't get it to any uh, words. So right now I'm typing PictoBlox over here, but as you can see, it's not happening over here. So let's set it to PictoBlox again. Now once that is set, yeah, we can't enter any of the words in the change block because we can't change the word by a value, right? We can change it the entire value, so we can use the set block over there. But for the change block, you can use only number types. So you can type as many numbers as you want, but you can't type any of the alphabet except for E. If you had have remembered my operators video, if you have seen my operators video, E is also kind of number. It's exponential number. So again, that's a bit mathematical. So let's not dive into that right now. But except for E, the value, right now it will consider that as 0 itself. So even if you change it by E, it will be 0 only. So for the string type, you can only use set block, not the change block. Okay, now let's use for this sprite. So I'll just put it local one or local Toby, because this is Toby variable. So as you can see, the tag Toby got the local Toby. Now if I, as you can see, we have the local Toby variable over here, right? But let's add any other sprite, random sprite. But if you see here, we have first variable and string one, but we don't have local Toby. Okay, you can still drag and drop it into the other sprites, but then it will create a local variable especially for the other sprite again. Okay, so these two are not same. Local Toby for Toby is different, local Toby for Ghost is different. So let's change the values. Local Toby, and let's make it 10 again. So as you can see, I'm setting the local Toby for Toby variable. Oh, that's why only this one is changing. And if I set this one to, let's say, 20, and only this variable will be changing. Okay, so again here, don't worry about the names. You can name the variables however you want, but the local variables can be accessed only with the specific sprites which they are created in. And global variables, you can access it wherever you want, even in the backdrops. As you can see, we can see the global variables, but none of this local Toby for Ghost, local Toby for Toby, none of them were available over here, right? So yeah, that's how local and global variables work. So if you want a variable created to be created only specifically for any sprite, use for this sprite only. And as you can see in the control section also, we got a variable. We discussed about this during the control blocks. So let me just activate this, and if you go to I, so as you can see, there is I variable over here as well. Now within the Ghost, you'll be having one more, but that would be J. So yeah, we discussed this point earlier itself. So for everything, these universal variables will be created automatically. Okay, Every time you get one more. So even for the same sprite, the variables would be different for different count loops for different sprites. Again, different variables. Okay, but these are created automatically, so don't have to worry about that. Okay, let's delete the other sprites. Okay, now let me delete the extra ones. So you can rename the variables as well. So once they are created, you can renamed variable. Okay, so you can rename it, and everywhere it will change. Okay, so that's how variables work. Now let's go into the lists. So list is actually a kind of continuous memory slots that store the variables. So it's like a pack of variables, but instead of just being like at different places, these will be connected together. So the list is just a continuous memories or continuous set of variables. So let's make a list. let, Let me name it as list one. Again, even for this you have for all sprites and for this sprite only. Let's go for global list. So as you can see a list one that I've created, and here you can either click on this plus to create variables within this list, how many ever you want, and yeah, you can increase its size. You can delete them as well manually, but in the code as well we get to see the controls. So let's say for example you can again make it appear and disappear within the stage. Then we can add thing to list, so it'll just keep on adding whatever the data that we give over here. Okay, so that's how it works. Then we have delete one of list. So first of all, let us add some data. Right now I have four datas, and if I delete one, the first one will be gone. So let's see, let me show you the difference as well. This is data, this is data one, this is data two. So I've created three data. So here you have to focus on the numbers before it, like what is the position of it. So if I delete one, data will be deleted, and data one and data two will be going to the top positions. Then if I delete two, the second position data, doesn't matter what data it is stored in, the position will be deleted. Okay. So yeah, that's how it works. Let me change it. You can manually change the values as well. So let me put it 7, 6. So right now I have these values. So if I delete 7, so the last one will be deleted. If I delete 5, 5 will be deleted, and everything else will take like go one place up to fill its place. And you can choose in which list you can delete them, because if you create second list, you can get the same lists over here as well. So you can add data, you can delete data in whichever list you want, and then delete all of list. So this will delete the entire data. Now this will not delete the list, it will delete only the data within the list. Okay, now if that's clear. Yeah, so this is to insert, like add and insert. These are to add the data. Let me remove list 2 for now. Yeah, so insert will be inserting the data within any of the positions that you mention over here. Let's say, for example, again, data one, I'll just add it. Then data two, data three. So I've added three data over here. And then if you want to insert thing at first position, you can just click on it and thing will be added at the first position. And all the positions will be changed automatically. So let's say at third position, I want to insert thing two. So third position became thing two and everything dropped one position down, right? Data 2 and data 3 came down with their positions. So this will insert the data in between. Then we have replace. So we can replace an entire item. Like let's say for example, data 1, which is in second position. Let's replace it with king 4 maybe. So if I replace it, the position will not change, only the data will get replaced. Then we have item 1 of list 1. So with the shape of the block itself, we can come to know that this is a information block because this will give you an output. So item 1 of list 1 is thing. Item 2 would be thing 4. 3 is thing 2. So whatever the data stored within the position, that you can fetch using this block. Then we have item hash of thing. So this will give you the position. So here this one will give you the data within a position, and item hash will tell you in which position the data actually is. Like let's say for example thing, right now it is in the first position. So if I click, it will be. Now if I just delete maybe G and make it thin, the item is not there, right? So it will give you 0. Okay, because the item is not even there within the list. So if I make it data 3, then it would become 5 because data 3 is stored in 5. Now if I change the case of the data, then also it would be the same. So here doesn't matter in which whether it is uppercase or lowercase, it will show you the same if the data matches exactly. So I can make it, let's say capital A, small t, and then capital A again. Even though the case is different, the data is same, so it would still give you the same output. Okay, that's how it works. Then length of list, this will tell you how much, what is the length of the list. So how many variables are there, how many data are stored within the list. So you can add the blank data as well. Even then it would consider that as the length itself, because even though it is blank, the space is still there, right? So you can add any number of data over here. So it doesn't matter if it is empty or filled, it will still give you the length of all the cells that are there within the list. Then we have list contains things. So this is a boolean block which tells you whether it's true or false. So this particular block will tell you whether the data exists within the list or not. So think it exists, so it will give you true. And if I just say thin again, it would be false because that particular data is not there. Okay, so even here it will not consider the cases, so it would still be true because the data still exists in a different case. That's it. And then we have show list and hide list, just like the variables. If you hide it, it will be gone. If you show it, it will be appearing on the stage. Now you can do it manually, or else in the code it can become automatic. Okay guys, so yeah, that's how this works, the list. Now let's jump into the next one, which is making a table. Now table has rows and columns. So first one, variable, is just a single cell, single spot that will store the data. List is one set of variables. It is a series of variables, you can say, that stores the data. And yeah, one more thing about the lists. So right now, let's say add thing. So there is this thing, and you can add the numbers as well. So doesn't matter which kind of data it is. You can add some special characters. Whatever the kind of data, it will store it in one single variable. Okay. Yeah. Then with the table, you can get to create more columns and variables. So it is like a list of list. Okay. Variable is a list of, sorry, variable is a single memory slot. List is the set of variables. Table is a set of lists. Okay. You can think of it like it. Then we can name the table as we have done with variables and lists. So yeah, let it be table 1 for now. Now number of columns. So we can add how many ever columns we need, like over here, and then if you create it, the table will be appearing here. So we have, in total we have 5 columns because we created so many. And if you click on plus over here, it will create the rows. So right now we have 13 rows created over here. And yeah, let's see what kind of operations are there in the table. Now we have set table 1, column 1, row 1 value. So we can add the data. Like for now we have only table 1. So if you create more tables, it will be the same. Like you will get the list over here. And columns, we have 5 columns. And rows you have to enter manually, because here we'll add them manually, because rows will not be there in the definition of table. We have to add them after creating the table. So yeah, we have 13 rows. So let's say for example in column 3, I want, in the 7th row, I'll add the value 4 over here. So if I activate it, as you can see in the column 3 in the 7th row, we have a data 4. Okay, so that's how you can add any of the values in the middle of the table. Then we have add column n to the table. So here you can give the column name. So let's say for example column 6 is the name of the column I want to add, because 5 columns are already added. So these names also you can give any names. Right now I'm choosing column 6, and if you click it, we have added column 6 to the table. Yeah, it's already added. It would take some time to load, a little bit of time. And once it is added, like once it is recognized, it will be added on the table. So right now we have the column 6, and you can add column 7 as well. So once you activate it, it can't add more because it's already added. Then okay, let's use this one to activate 6 and 7. So okay, column 6 and 7, like we have added the values. We can add the values in the program as well. Okay, then we got this show. Oh sorry, we can also delete the column, column n. So instead of column n, let's delete column 1 maybe. And if you click on this, column 1 will get deleted. Now again, for these changes to happen, it would take some time to refresh the entire thing, but it would eventually come to it. Okay, now right now I've deleted column 1 and added column 6 and 7. So let's see how it goes. And then we have show table on stage and then hide it. So we can hide it and show it on the stage. Now as you can see, column 6 and 7 got added and column 1 got deleted, just as we did. And we also added the data, right? Even the data can be added manually. So even that can be anything, any number, or as I said, any special characters. So anything is fine. You can add them manually or using the program. Now delete row 1. So let's delete 13th row for now. So this will actually be faster. Delete 12, and yeah, add column n. So if you add this, just hide the table and then show it again, then it would be like refreshing the table. So it would be, the changes would be there. So you can see column n over here. Let's delete column n for now, and again. Okay, column n got deleted, and if I add it, it's getting added. So now it became faster, like it's responding faster now. So yeah, first time maybe it would take some time, and then yeah, it would eventually come to it. Then we have delete this block. So in any table, if you want to delete any row, even in the middle you can delete the seventh, and as you can see seventh one is gone. So to see the change, let's delete the third row. In that case, this special character data should be gone. So let's delete 3. So as you can see, 3 got deleted and everything else jumped forward. Okay, jump to the previous position, all the rows. Then we have clear table. So this is again will not delete the table, it will just clear the data within the table. Okay, yeah. So here we still have the columns and we just deleted the data that is stored in the table. That's it. The table will still exist. Then again, shape of the block tells us that this is an information block. So column 1, row 1, let's add some data in column 4. Maybe again, this Toby. So in column 4 in row 1, we have a Toby data. So in row 1, column 4, as you can see, you get the Toby. And if it is a blank one, it will just give you none. Okay, that would be the outcome of it. Then we have get row count of the table. So let's say for example I've added 11 rows. So if I click on it, you'll get 11. Okay, doesn't matter if the data is there or not. If there is the row, it will consider that as an active row and it will count it as a length of the table. Okay, just like the list. Then yeah, yeah, we got the timestamp. So this will give you the exact real life time. So today is 2026 June 26. So that's how it will be, and it is over 6:15:49 and then some of the milliseconds. So it would give you the date and the time. Okay, so 2026 June. So 2026, 6 stands for June and 26 is the date. So that is the exact date today. So this will give you the real life timestamp. Then we have export table as CSV file. So CSV comma separated values, that is CSV stands for. So this entire table will be converted into a CSV file format, and then you can download that table to your laptop or mobile phone wherever you're creating your table. So yeah, it would give you the CSV file again, comma separated values, that is the full form of CSV. And then also you can import, like this is the export, right? Whatever the table that you have created in PictoBlox will be exported as a CSV file. And also if you have any CSV file already there, you can actually import it. So edit table, you can edit the existing table, you can delete the table as well. Okay, and then we can create as many tables as we want over here. Right now let's delete these things. Okay, so here if you click on make a table, you can see load CSV table. So whatever is there in your laptop or mobile phone, if you want that CSV file to be imported into PictoBlox, you can use this option as well, so that you can get the data to make some program. Okay, so that's what variables is about. So we have the variables, list, and table. So variable is a memory unit that will store a single set of data. It can be anything: number, special characters, alphabet, a name, or a sentence, anything. But it should be a single thing. And then we have a list. It's a list of variables or a collection of variables, you can say. Then we have table. It's a collection of lists. Okay. Okay, guys, so that is about the variables video. So if you have any questions or anything that you didn't understand, just drop it down in the comments. I'll either answer it in the comment section, or if it is too long, I'll explain it in the upcoming videos. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you will be having a nice day, and then bye.